you
There
doing?
you go. Good. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you for coming on. I really
Thanks,
appreciate.
Al.
This is my
You
friend
said
Rob.
Bob?
We do. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
Bob.
Rob?
Yeah, we
Bob,
do.
Rob? How you guys doing?
We're fine.
Bob and Rob, we're doing well.
We do the show together. Rob's been my friend for like 10 years. And thank you for coming on. So you played with the Tampa Bay Bucks the last time they won it, not this time, right?
Correct. Last time we won it was 2002 season, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, 2002, 2003, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And was Gruden your coach? He was a coach, right?
Yes, he was.
Okay. You want to tell us about that year and everything you did? And
It was, it was a tough year just because I guess the previous season we had made the playoffs and we lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia.
Right.
And it was a kind of a bad loss. And the word was Coach Dungy was going to be let go along with his staff if we lost that game.
Uh-huh.
So that was kind of circulating right before the game started. You were hearing that in the locker room. So it was kind of it was like some seasons or where things just weren't settled. Like we just didn't quite finish the game as far as winning a championship with the teams that Coach Dungy had got established there, that whole organization got established. So, there was a bunch of talk about different guys coming in, Parcells, a number of other guys. So when Gruden did come in, we understood he had the affiliation with him. He grew up in the area, wanted to come back. I called a buddy of mine that played for the Oakland Raiders and said Gruden was the type of coach that we would want. So for me, that kind of eased a little bit of the tension and apprehension for playing for him, because there was people that were felt a certain way that Coach Dungy was let go, just the way that it was done. So a number of coaches felt the same way. But when he came in, he kept the defensive staff together. He just said he didn't want to touch that. With an offensive crew. And, it was that season, it was the off season was tough. He said that's how he designed it, but the season was going to be fun. So during that season, it was, pretty cool because we got Victory Mondays, and we had just hadn't gotten that before. So once we won a game, we got the Mondays off, and it was just it just seemed like he was a player's coach, where we would do certain things like, if he felt that we just needed a break, we'd go bowling, team activities.
Cool.
We'd do a number of team building, kind of fun things. So that was something that, was a bit of a change of pace from what the former coaches had. So we kind of gravitated towards that and bought into what he was selling, and started winning games. And I guess the rest was history. We were fortunate. I think that may have been the first year where the NFC Central was a division that we were playing in. We switched up a bit. So then we had Atlanta in our division. We had
right.
So we didn't have to travel to Green Bay, Minnesota, or the colder cities.
Now, you were born in New Jersey, and so am I. I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
And I'm from Marstein. You're from Newark, right?
Yes.
And you went to Irvington?
Went to Irvington High School.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then Temple College.
And I went to Temple. Yep. So hard situation.
So you played the Big East, huh?
Big East, yes. Yeah. The I tell the guys that it was similar to the SEC what it is now, because the beast of that division was Miami. It was for some reason we played Penn State every year. We played Virginia Tech, Syracuse, and those teams they were pretty much rolling and had things going.
Oh, Rob went to Syracuse.
That was a great decade for Syracuse, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he went to Syracuse. Rob went to Syracuse.
Okay, all right.
So you were drafted 4th round, right? By Tampa Bay.
Yes.
And you were Super Prep All-American. you were just an amazing linebacker. I mean, there wasn't anything you didn't tackle out there.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't stop at Temple. Yeah, we just didn't have the success that we thought we'd have at Temple. So we,
Right.
Fortunately and unfortunately, I got an opportunity to play a lot of games, to get a lot of chance to make tackles against these offenses. So,
right.
So that kind of helped my my tackling ability.
Wow.
By being on the field so long.
Well, the Temple program has improved though over the years.
Yeah, it has. They've done a great job. They, I think what benefited us was the university recognizing, or kind of behind the scenes, there was some of the members of the university didn't want football to continue or to drop to a lower level, but some of the powers that be found out about it, and they decided to get out of the Big East. And I think the other major teams got out of the Big East, and the Big East just wasn't the same. So Temple was an independent for a year or two, and they went to the MAC conference. And that's when I thought things really started to change for those guys, or for us. So competition was, it wasn't what the Big East once was, which was great for recruiting. And, it's, brought in some of the guys like Al Golden, who had a great coaching staff, and some of the other guys I may not remember, but I forget the coach's name down there in Carolina.
Steve Adazio coached there too.
He did. Some of the ones that I'm thinking I had a relationship, Al Golden, as far as welcoming the guys back and really building that program back.
Matt Rule too. Matt Rule was great there.
Oh no, he was great. Yeah. So that's what really, put Temple on the map. I guess to a level where it was respectable in the sense of guys can go in the locker room now and have some bragging rights. I didn't quite have that when I stepped into the locker room.
Well, you had some. You were a great player, and that team won it all. Everybody accused Gruden of stealing the playbook. That's not true, is it? Because he would coach with Oakland first, right? In the Super Bowl.
Right.
He played Oakland.
But no, you can't steal a playbook. I guess.
No.
They didn't change anything. So
no.
Gruden knew. He knew a lot of the tendencies. A lot of those guys were still handpicked from Gruden's era there. So, Rich Gannon, the quarterback, he knew a lot of the tendencies. So
right, exactly.
He made sure that we understood some of those tendencies, and some of the calls, what they made. He wasn't sure if they changed them or not, but if we heard certain signals, certain checks, then it gave us a jump on where the ball may be going.
Sure.
So,
just like watching film, right?
Exactly.
It's just like watching film. What's it like to play in a Super Bowl? That must be great, huh?
It was great. Yeah. It was, it was just understanding that it was the last game that's going to be played, during that season. And, you were one of the final two teams that were going to be, putting on a show. So it really felt like we belonged there. One of the staff members, it was one of our strength coaches. He was the longtime Giants strength coach, and I think he'd won 2 Super Bowls with Bill, 2 or 3. And the one thing he said was, when you get there, it's not enough to just get there. He pulled out his big rings that he had on his fingers. This is what it's all about, and to us, it that said it all. Game meant nothing. You just weren't going to come that far to lose that game, because you could still have a bad feeling, even worse if you lost in that game.
Sure.
It's supposed to be taken out in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. But you guys won it. I mean, you took care of business against Oakland. You guys played really well.
Yeah. We played defensively. We played well most of the year. Offensively, for the time we just put things together. Because I believe Keenan McCarter, big game that game, 2 touchdowns.
Right.
I only know this because every year during the Super Bowl, it's like guys email each other, post something, and I said, "Wow, I didn't remember that happened." He had a good game. I think the running back had a really good game, and I don't quite remember if we turned the ball over or not. But yeah, we played well both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you really did.
And how are you enjoying your current stint at Fairleigh Dickinson?
Yeah.
Well, I was a coach there. I just wear it because I still got the free gear, and a lot of it I had to pay for. So I'm still trying to get my money's worth out of it.
All right.
I see. No, what was that?
So you're not coaching there now.
I am not coaching there now.
Okay. No. So no plugs for FDU.
Great academic school. Had some fun there with a lot of the kids. So, but no shame to play.
Now, was that in FDU in Newark or in Morris County?
That was right in Lawn Park.
Oh, that's right down the street from the Friendlies where I go get ice cream all the time.
Yeah, where the Friendlies used to be. Because I think they're closing.
Well, no, the one in Madison closed, but the one in Conversation's still open.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is. Yeah, I go there every time. Okay, I was there last night getting ice cream.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So you went from there to the Cowboys, right?
Yes. So,
and what was that like?
That was it was great because from what I can remember is why I went to the Cowboys in the first place. I met with Bill. Didn't know him, but knew of him. Came from Jersey, of course. He
Yourselves, yeah.
Yeah. So he, I remember Keyshawn Johnson telling me that I'm this type of player. I was going to visit there, and I was trying to figure out what type of guy is he. And he said, "No, he likes tough players. You're his type of guy." So he said, "No, you'll love him." So going there, Bill was, he was honest, and I was told that if he likes you, he's going to be honest. If he doesn't care about you, it's whatever. If he can't trust you, so. Right away, he told me why I was there because the strength coach that I mentioned at Tampa, I think his name was JP, Johnny Parker, he told Bill, what type of person and player I was. And because we developed a relationship from the weight room. So he told me that's the main reason why I'm here right now. And he said, once he watched me on film, he liked the type of player that I was. And he did some background checks and he knew some people I knew from Jersey. So told me what he needed, what he expected. And, and it was just a great, honest conversation. And, I had mentioned the fact that, Tampa didn't, he asked what I was going to do. And I told him, I don't know. I said, Tampa didn't sign me back, they didn't make an offer. So I was a little pissed off about that. And he told me, he said, I like a pissed off player. He said, don't come here because you're pissed off. He said, that's not the way to do it. And he explained, the fact that he had to have a role as a general manager and coach. He said, there's 100 different things they have to do. He said, the first thing they got to do is solidify, make sure they sign their middle linebacker, keep that defense together. They got to get it together with the middle back, which is what they were doing. And he said, they won. They got a bunch of holes to fix on offense. He said, just understand, it's, they love you, but they've got to do what they got to do as an organization. And I have to, what I have to do as a player. So he said, loyalty standpoint, that's great to feel that way, but it's a business decision. He said he has basically he was selling himself and letting you know that his reputation building teams, building winners was gonna pretty much proceed, with the Cowboys. And he wanted me to be a part of it for the right reason. So, he was very honest. And he said he said, you're the back linebacker that I'm looking for. Said I'm not gonna give you an ultimatum and say we're gonna need by such and such a time because we have another linebacker coming in. But he said, just be honest with me and let me know what's your price, what teams are offering you. And Mr. Jones, and he said they're pretty much to the point where as long as the prices are outrageous, they can beat it. and go from there. So that was a honest conversation, and I actually went to Tampa and tried to negotiate, and see where they were, but it was just really no comparison to what they were able to offer. So it was seemingly just time to go. That was that was kind of my relationship with Bill, just an honest relationship. He it was different because he was very demanding.
Right, he's
but
tough.
He's tough, but I felt, he coached such great players. I was a big fan of their linebackers that he had for the Giants, Carl Banks, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, right.
That, I felt, you can just look on his face, understand that those were the type of players that he had. So, I mean, this was, pre DeMarcus Ware and, the other guys that he brought, it was self, Dexter Coakley, and that win. I was about 235, and but I was 6'3". That win was about 5'10" and a half. 5'9" on a good day. It was different. You could see he wasn't used to the defense being a little bit smaller. Mm-hmm. He wanted to change it, but he couldn't. He couldn't just go out and do that. So that kind of reflected on his coaching style a bit, where I thought, anything went wrong defensively, it was like, oh, goodness, like I'm just not used to this defense. These guys running all over the place and not being run stuffers. So it was, you could see the frustration that he had for, a year or two before he, changed the defense to a 3-4 and got things the way he wanted it. But it was good because what I expected was a disciplinarian, and that's what he was.
Yeah, sure was.
Yeah. So, and that was the he kept his promise. He was going to get rid of the riffraff and run a professional organization. I just thought that the league started to change a bit, and the players, they just had a different attitude. And not that the game passed them by, but you had to deal with players in a different way, and that's something that he wasn't used to.
I mean, you were really, really great at on both teams that you played, and you were a really great linebacker. I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit by you, that's for sure. Especially now, I can't move as it is. So,
well, I probably miss you.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't. Because I can't walk no more. Anyway. I can barely walk, so I doubt that. I could run but back then I could run really fast. Hopefully, I just get away somehow, but I doubt it. But so like you were you actually started a dry cleaners, is that right?
I did. So once I finished maybe about 2 years into probably my 8th year playing with Dallas, playing in the league, I had looking at franchises. Like I said, Bill was very honest, and he would let all the guys know, particularly the ones that he liked. Essentially, if you're creeping up on age 30, it's really nowhere to go but down. So that was just his philosophy. If you're in that 30 age range, you're probably going to be, he wasn't going to be looking to replace you, but it's not much playing left after that. So that was just his philosophy. He let me understand that that's where, my future was headed. So, I started looking into different franchises. And once my last year had hit, kind of realized that some of the guys that they brought in, they had DeMarcus Ware. I think at that year they may have they got another first rounder. It was Bobby Carpenter. Mm-hmm. So it was a bunch of young linebackers, and I think they were still. Greg Ellis was still under contract, and it wasn't going to be enough room for a guy running down on special teams, or just not a dominant pass rusher on that edge. So, started looking into different opportunities, but wound up opening up a dry cleaners. Why are dry cleaners? I don't know. Call it too many hits to the head. I don't know, but
actually, I have a coat that really needs some dry cleaning, and it's really nice. But
I could point you in the right direction, but I got out of that business. It was good, hard work, which I wasn't afraid of. But the industry just changed a lot, but I did fulfill one thing. I got into it because I wanted to help the community, and I actually had it in Morris Plains. So,
okay, right.
Yeah, so did that, was able to hire a lot of people, help a lot of students out, and, offer a little bit of something towards their college tuition, as a perk for joining the dry cleaning franchise. So, it was interesting, learning about the industry and trying to build something for the community. But
that's really important. Yeah.
I didn't want to be anywhere near coaching at all. So sports, particularly football, didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Wow. But you did become a coach though, right? For a little bit.
Yeah, because I realized that in the dry cleaning, going in the store every day, that's all I was doing was coaching. It was, I had to learn, essentially try and learn the playbook, which is understand the chemicals that, how they react, and, how to clean certain garments, and understand what the garment fabrics, what can happen to them if they're not cleaned the right way, and they have to be cleaned a certain way. So essentially, it was a lot of learning that I had to do. And it was, it was just learning a playbook. It was teaching those plays to the employees. Some got it, some didn't. So it was just coaching. And I was asked by a buddy of mine to come out and, I think he was at Eastside Patterson. So he asked me to come out and, just work with his linebackers. And I told him I was interested in coaching, but I'd come out, help him out. And it was kind of like a breath of fresh air, because I realized that I had a lot of knowledge to pass on, and I wanted to, and the kids there, they got it, they understood it, and some of them, it seemed like they were in the same situation I was in high school. It was, a sense of desperation, where if I don't get a scholarship, it won't be walking on at Rutgers, it won't be doing this and that, it'll be at a college, and your life being in a different, taking a different direction. So it was a matter of survival, and I could sense that in a lot of the kids there, and they asked me to come back, and that kind of started my passion at that time for coaching.
Yeah, that's great. What are you doing now? What do you
Now? Well, right now I'm walking, trying to stay in shape, and so I'm at a park here.
And how's your health? How's your health? How's your body doing after all the years of playing football?
It's the coaches that coached me, they told me that you're going to be banged up, and
boy,
it's true. So it's just a matter of, I think I go through a lot of other former players. It's different things to keep your body, engaged. So it's stretching. It's now it's the mental health aspect, which is big. Whether it's yoga, doing things, hot yoga, meditation, acupuncture, doing more things to be functional.
Wow,
that's the key thing.
So you've really developed a focus on your self-care.
Wow, yeah, sounds it.
Yeah, I think you have to, and that's what a lot of it's sad, because from a football standpoint, it really depends on I guess how you retire. Meaning, a lot of guys, they may retire, and they financially, they may not be in, a position where they want to be or where they were while they were playing. So obviously, a lot of the phone calls stop. A lot of your teammates you may not keep in contact with, you know, because a lot of guys are afraid to answer the phone because you may not understand what or know what someone wants. I was never that guy that someone called up to ask for something, but you can imagine like some of the big names, like like a Derek Brooks, like a John Lynch, or just bigger name guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's times we had conversations. Not specifically them, but certain guys. They may stay away from because they're not doing so well in their post career, the after football afterlife. So yeah, so it's but it's just guys I speak with that had injuries, and we try to keep each other up to date on where we are, as far as if there's a good procedure or something good that's working for them. It may be racquetball. That was something that was good to keep your lateral movement once we finished playing. But it's important for guys to keep up because, obviously with this pandemic, it was so easy to fall into a place where, you're just not eating healthy. You're not getting out the way you wanted to do. So, yeah.
Sure.
So it's just trying to reintroduce myself to that, as far as
now
dealing with family. So that's been a key thing. Focus.
Now, what do you think of, I'm sorry. I think you blinked in and out.
Is that me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. Now, what do you think about today's game players as compared to when you played?
I think that they have they're a lot bigger. I'll tell you that much.
Well, they keep getting bigger every year.
Keep getting bigger. But now I think they have I thought we had working out and training to a science. Now you can see how, their bodies have changed. And the reason why I say that is because I did an internship with a couple of the teams, and talking to the trainer, they had you can look at the linebackers, and they were all, they had a body type that they were looking for. Guidance that we had from the teams, from the training facilities, it helped us out just to be there, be active. These guys now, it almost seems like they're so focused. They understand, their body, and they understand that it's a business, and there's so much more money that's being made now where, they focus a lot of attention on their bodies. Mm-hmm. And, like you just look at Tom Brady,
I was just going to bring him up.
Yeah. Yeah. Just playing that long and, that well, and still being that strong, with his arm. It's it's amazing, and that just speaks for the training, the dieting, and everything that he's been doing. Aside from the skill that he possesses,
Yeah, you played against him. What was he like to play against?
He was, we knew he was good. He was good. He was accurate. He wasn't the Tom Brady, obviously, that he is now. Like you didn't fear him. I think at that time, people that you would fear would be, I think it was still at that time, it was still Brett Favre, because Brett Favre could get hot. Once he got hot, he was just hitting everything. Michael Vick, of course, it was just a different type of guy. But he, I think with some guys like Aaron Rodgers, even quarterbacks now, obviously all the top quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, playing for those guys, if you're on defense, you always know that you're in the game. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a big thing with Tampa, because defensively, I thought they had a really good defense a couple of years ago. They had Winston, I believe, but
yes,
you can't,
Jameis, right.
If you can't trust your quarterback, it's hard to, it's hard to get down in the game and not think about, trying to do the extra things to create a turnover, so you can help your offense out, and, you defensively, you try to win the game. I think you relax more when you got a Tom Brady, you got a Russell Wilson, the Mahomes kid, they're gonna do some things with their legs, or they're gonna make those great plays because you just trust them.
What I was going to ask you about him. What do you think about Pat? How he and I'm kind of a Chiefs fan, so I kind of love him. I've been waiting for this for a while, so you know.
Well, I like a buddy of mine is a scout over there. So,
Mm,
I root for all those guys that I know. Um,
mm.
yeah, Patrick Mahomes. He's an amazing quarterback.
Yeah,
Just
sure
because
is.
he's patient, he has the confidence to go out and make things happen. What noticed, I've noticed now that I think there's more quarterbacks that are coming in that are, pro ready, just from I don't know if it's from the training or what, but he came in, he sat behind Alex Smith for a while, and I've heard he was good, but I didn't realize how good he was going to be, because it's always you can always be good in practice, but when you can actually put that together in the games and make the other teams fear you, as a passer, that's that's hard to do. It's
You
not
know
very
what?
many that can do that.
It's funny. I I loved him in college, and he had that 7 touchdown game. And I said it before when he was. I want that guy. I want him in Kansas City, and you know, and a lot of people. I did work at ESPN for 2 years. I was an intern, a paid intern, and a lot of them said they wasted the pick on a high school quarterback. I'm like, you got to be out of your mind. This guy's amazing, and I mean, but I he just had the confidence, and he has the great arm, and you like you said, I mean, those kind of guys, you're never out of a game. And even in the Super Bowl against San Francisco, those guys had their heads down. Goes, we can win this. And they was like, sure, But he did it, and that really, really put the confidence in that team. That changed everything. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing,
Yeah.
just how far he's come,
Ooh,
but he's just still a young, he's that young, to
yeah.
be considered one of the best quarterbacks, arguably, in the top three, if not the top two. That's his age. That's just amazing.
Did you
I
ever? How was it going up against Donovan McNabb? Had to ask.
yeah. He's a Syracuse guy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you know what? I like Don. Kind of always a classy guy. At Syracuse as well. He was. He was a guy that you knew he was athletic. He's big. So when you're going to try and take him down, you got to. You have to bring some butt with you, because he's just not going to fall down. He's so athletic and elusive. He was always touch the pitch at Syracuse. I didn't catch very much at Syracuse, but yeah, I liked his game. I didn't. He was another guy. I was hoping that he would do well, just because he was a Big East guy. I think the first time we played Philadelphia, he was a quarterback. We beat him, and he was kind of forced into action. But you just saw how confident he was, and how Andy, Coach Reed, built the team around him. You know, he he was one of those quarterbacks that you kind of develop a hate, because he got that. I thought he got that good. He can beat you throwing the football. He had some really good weapons. He could beat you running, and he was smart. There was a time, that I think it was one of the times Tampa, we came down to, or we went up to Philly to play those guys. You know, he's just pointing out, all of our stunts, all of the things that, we were doing. And at that time, he was laughing and smirking, because he knew what was going on. It pissed everybody off. So, yeah, he's a really good quarterback. You know, obviously he's got to be a Hall of Fame candidate. I mean, I think at some point he will be in there, or should be in there. I don't know if he will be in there, but he was that type of talent.
Yeah, he was. He was really, really good. I know Rob loves him, don't you, Rob? Are you still with us, Rob? I think he left us. They're having a storm up there, so there could be.
Yeah, I got storms, but did I hear Hall of Famer?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
I agree. He's so close to winning it all. I mean, 4 straight NFC title games.
Yeah, I mean that's what changed the Eagles organization. You know, I was having that quarterback. You know, but yeah, that was that was the playbook for their success. You know, getting that key piece. So, like I said, he was a guy, that if he's behind center, the defense is, on the sideline. You got confidence in him totally because he's going to put you in a good situation. So, he didn't win that big game, but it was he still had a stellar career that I don't think he should be denied being in Hall.
So you're speaking some sound praises here, but what were the teams you really?
I think we lost him for a second. He'll come back. I think if they're having a storm up there, he's in New York State, so he's having a little problem. But he'll come back. Well, Rob, you want to ask that question again?
I said you were speaking sound praises. Who were the teams you did not like to play against?
Well, Philly, the Eagles, they're very cocky. That's a team that
love it.
We just didn't like, and I didn't like Philadelphia. My time at Temple, it's because there was I still remember a receiver, and I think he was a guy from Penn State, a guy named Fred Barnett. I think that was him. They lost the game, and he mentioned something on TV that we lost. We feel like right now, for a college kid, your team mentioned by a pro player, it's a losing. It's feeling like like Temple guys when you had a bad game and you lost the game. I immediately had a dislike for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it was probably more so, the fans.
They're hard. Let me tell you. They're hard. Like I used to. I knew Freddie Mitchell, and he would get me passes to watch practice down there. And I realized that I was starting to talk about how my brother's trainer at UCLA. And he's been the trainer there for years and years. He took care of Coach Wood and the whole thing, football, baseball, basketball, the whole thing. And, I was starting to tell the fans that. And as we're sitting there, I was waiting for Fred to come out. They started surrounding me as I was sitting there, almost like I had an audience. And I realized, I look at these guys, if I say the wrong thing here, I am one dead man. Because they are so tough. You can't say nothing bad about the Eagles. You just can't.
No, they
no.
No, they live in die by the Eagle.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So it was that team, another team that we really didn't care for. Probably Green Bay.
Really?
Yeah, just because. Well, Green Bay is it's not really like a hate relationship, but just playing those guys, I never got a chance to beat Green Bay on their home turf. So I never won a game in Lambeau. And whenever you lose a game in Lambeau, I don't know if you remember the Randy Moss Mooney that he did, that he got in a little bit of trouble for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did that because after every game he lost to a Green Bay Packer, there was always a number of fans lined up by the where your buses, got to exit out. They would always moon you. Every time. Oh yeah.
Unreal.
Every time. So when Randy
these heads mooning.
Exactly.
So much for the heart of the country.
When Randy did that, I applauded him for that, but he got a lot of backlash over that. I understood why he did it.
Right.
You know, that's because that's what you're going to be accustomed to receiving if you lose a game or win a game there.
So I guess you might have been pleased when Tampa this year beat Green Bay in the NFC title game.
I was, like I said, I root for the teams where I have some affiliation with some guys, whether they're coaches, some of the personnel members there. So I'll root for guys there, but I root for Tampa because I still have a teammate attached to in the scouting department.
Yeah,
a guy named Shelton Quarles. So I was rooting for those guys.
Right.
Found out that one of the longtime members of the organization is Jill. Forget Jill's last name, but she passed away during the season, or right before the season, and that was tough because she was someone that was there when I was there, and whenever guys would come back, when players come back to visit, she knew who they were. She made sure they were taken care of. So she was a part of that, part of that organization, and that kind of made you feel young again when you're able to go back there and see someone that you knew, But now, she passed away, so I was, happy to see those guys get the another Super Bowl, victory.
Yeah, I kind of suspected you were rooting for Tampa Bay deep down.
Yeah. I was rooting for defense, so.
Oh, there you go. The heck with that Brady guy. That's not important.
Speaking of defense, Al. Oh, sorry. You gonna say something?
No. Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of defense, do you believe the rules have really overly handicapped defense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean that's been going on since the '60s. I went to a former players, a retired players, not party, but a players association, kind of a meeting that we had in Dallas, and it was funny listening to some of the guys that played in the '60s and the '70s. Some of the things that they were complaining about, that they can do, that they can't do now. It was a lot of the offensive players. They were saying, well, these guys, they can't get touched when they run downfield. There's a 5-yard rule. They didn't have that when they played in the '60s and '70s.
No, the Oakland Raiders can vouch for that.
Yeah, so they, so I've heard that, and over the years, it's been increasingly, just being weighted towards the offense to be successful. So yeah, that's a matter of tough for the defense, but smart on the part of the NFL because that's how they're gonna fans want to see scores.
So scoring, right?
Exactly. Right. So and to have that's I guess that's why a lot of these quarterbacks now, particularly because you can't touch them. Even if you hit them legally, and they're out for the game, that's a problem. It's a problem for everything. Betting comes into play.
Sure. Yeah. You can't even tack a quarterback anymore. Pretty much, you got to hit him in the right place, right angle, or you're going to get penalized 15 yards for roughing the passer or whatever. It's or one of those spearing things. You really can't hit anybody anymore. You can't.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of the changes are good,
right.
Particularly with the concussion and,
right.
The horse collar, so there's a lot of good changes to the game. Just tough for a lot of defensive players, I see some of the calls. And
yeah, me too.
It's really nothing that they could have done to avoid a contact.
Right. You know what? A couple of years ago when Kansas City played New England, they had Brady sacked. It was the cleanest sack. And that ref threw that penalty and said unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer. That was ridiculous. And it kept the game going because it would have been 4th down and Kansas City would have took a knee and the game would have been over. They'd have lost. Kansas City would have been the Super Bowl that year. The year they played the Rams, New England.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tom got that call. So, but it was definitely a clean tackle. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. And we're sorry we took so long to get you on.
No. It's I had a lot of duties I had to get done. My wife, she She does musical theater. So,
Oh,
Broadway
nice.
didn't. Yeah, so Broadway didn't open up, but I guess she knew we knew beforehand that it was going to start because she started to get some phone calls where she had to go through auditions, and I think someone had put together a outdoor performance in the city for her. So she's been doing that. So it's been trying to
Is
get
she,
on the show.
is
I'm
she
sorry.
actually on a show now on Broadway?
No, not yet on Broadway. And my phone is going
Okay.
to die here in a little bit. But no,
Okay.
she's doing a outdoor, um, kind of like an outdoor show with it's called
Okay.
Ella to Amy. So
Right.
it's at the Mandarin in New York, in
Okay.
Manhattan. So
Okay.
she's been doing that, which is great. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
out yeah
Plays are
outdoor on the
plays are
rooftop.
fun. Plays are
Yeah, she got
fun.
yeah she got me into it, and all my two daughters, they're into it. So
Mm-hmm.
quite naturally, I had to become a fan.
Oh,
It's
yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Now, before we go, I got to say, because Dave made me do this. I known Dave for a while. I've taken a lot of games when he was growing up, like play basketball with him. He wants me to give him a shout out for the Ford dealership because you bought a car from him and he helped me get you on. So shout
Yeah,
out to Dave, to Dave,
shout out to Dave.
Dave Morane. Moranton.
Dave on it. Yep, he
Yes.
did it. Yeah, shout out to Dave.
Right.
Thanks for allowing me to come in there and not hassling me like some of those other dealerships did to buy
Oh, man.
something. It's
Okay.
yeah,
So just go to Dave. Don't go to the other guys. Ford from Randolph.
exactly.
There you go. But
I want to thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
thank you for coming on.
Yeah, and come back on anytime you want, Al.
Anytime you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Take
All right,
care
you
of
stay
yourself.
peaceful. All right.
You
All right.
definitely take care.